Are you committed to inclusion? Do you want to hire people who are experiencing a disability? Do you need to remove barriers within your workplace and work processes? To do so, you need to understand accommodations. Accommodations remove barriers and support your employees to fully participate. Accommodation requests fall into a number of categories, including physical, service and equipment, systemic, leadership, and culture. They can be applied to your entire workforce, and they can influence and impact your policies and practices. Properly implementing accommodations can also strengthen your brand, increase accessibility, and develop opportunities. Module outcomes. This module will explain workforce accommodations and the duty to accommodate, describe the accommodation process, and help you create an accommodation policy based on suggested guidelines. Many workspaces are inaccessible. Employers can be nosy. They ask for personal information about diagnosis, often irrelevant to the accommodation request. Accommodations appear to be costly. When an employee asks for an accommodation, employers use it as an excuse to let go of the employee or not hire them in the first place. It's a conscious bias and discrimination. Rationale. People who are experiencing a disability want to work, but may need an accommodation in order to do so. Most accommodations are not expensive. According to Statistics Canada, in 2019, only 43% of people who are experiencing disability in the workforce require an accommodation. According to the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disability Act, over half of the accommodations cost less than $500. Meeting the duty to accommodate can increase productivity. It can also empower employees to fully participate in the workforce. A workplace accommodation is an adjustment made to help employees overcome barriers and better perform their job. An accommodation is a solution that allows equal opportunities, access, and benefits. Your employee can request an accommodation at any time, from the hiring process to retirement. As the employer, you cannot ask or infer about the person experiencing a disability or medical diagnosis. It is private and confidential. You do have a legal duty to accommodate up to the point of undue hardship. So, if your employee requests an accommodation that is too difficult or too expensive, like retrofitting a building for an accessible washroom, it may fall under undue hardship. To learn about available funding that can alleviate accommodation costs, check out the resources section of our website. The duty to accommodate has two parts: assessment of the request and implementation of the accommodation. Your duty to accommodate has three principles. 1. Respect for dignity. 2. Individualization. And 3. Integration and full participation. Accommodation is subject to provincial legislation and union requirements. Your employee must inform you about the accommodation and what changes need to be made to hours, location, workspace, or in policy or practice. You are responsible for finding a reasonable accommodation. Have a conversation with your employee. You may ask for a medical note or information only to identify workplace limitations. You must offer a reasonable, justifiable accommodation that meets operational needs. If the employee insists on another accommodation, you are released from your duty to accommodate. An accommodation policy removes barriers and sets the tone for all staff. It clearly sets expectations for how you want people to act. Effective policies are written in collaboration with management and staff. Your policy needs to adhere to relevant legislation, human rights requirements, and your organization's rules for accommodations. When creating your policy, you need to include a statement and make it publicly available to show your commitment to accessibility. Begin by reviewing your current practices, then identify any challenges and state the changes you need to make. In the policy, you need to state its purpose, who will be responsible for administration, and its effective date. Your policy should include a list of actions that you want your employees to take. Don't forget to add your policy into your larger human rights and accommodations policy. Example of an accommodations policy. Your company will provide workplace accommodation to the point of undue hardship to ensure that individuals who are otherwise able to work are not discriminated against and excluded from doing so because of a disability or other protected grounds. Accommodation requests will be considered with the principles of dignity, individualization, inclusion, and full participation. Employees with an accommodation plan will be notified in advance of any changes that could affect the terms of their plan. Your company is committed to maintaining confidentiality when providing accommodation and will only disclose personal information when necessary to provide the accommodation or as otherwise permitted by law. After creating your policy, communicate it to your company and provide staff training. Summary. A workplace accommodation is a change in the work environment that allows a person who is experiencing a disability to perform their job. The goal is to find a solution that provides equal opportunities, access, and benefits. An accommodation may be provided up to undue hardship. The duty to accommodate is based on respecting the employee's dignity, individualization, and integration, and full participation. The process of an accommodation starts with an employee's request. You, as the employer, are responsible for finding an adequate, justifiable accommodation that meets operational needs. An accommodation policy needs to address rules your organization needs to follow with respect to hiring and recruitment. You need to identify the challenges you face and laws in your jurisdiction. We encourage you to access the toolkit for further information, examples, and templates. So get started.